I am a stalker. The Deketrice Jackson story. This is a story about a young woman, Trice Jackson, who grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and spent time in foster care. On the show, she discussed her experiences living in several different foster homes and how she was frequently mistreated. Jackson knew she was gay from a young age, but she was bullied in school, and other people didn't want her around their children because of her sexual preference. As a result, Jackson struggled with feelings of abandonment because her mother, according to her, didn't want her. Deketrice's initial obsession was with Tanya, a person she knew from church. Deketrice was 10 years old in 2001, while Tanya was 24. Deketrice would typically ask Tanya to be a mother, but Tanya didn't want to. It was mentioned on the show. Deketrice's behaviors eventually became so excessive for Tanya that she stopped communicating with her. Following that, Deketrice grew close to Tiffany, Tanya's niece, and started using her online persona. Deketrice relocated to Springfield, Missouri, in 2008. But her propensity to become obsessed persisted. In 2012, she started dating Rachel. Deketrice acknowledged following Rachel to work, looking at her telephone, and abusing her physically and mentally. Deketrice eventually violated Rachel and her mother's restraining orders, but she persisted in visiting their home up until her arrest in October 2012. Deketrice was given an 8-year probationary period. She was good for a few years, but things changed in 2017 after she had a brief conversation with another female. Deketrice started to follow her and send her gifts, which she did for a year before the police became involved. She spent time in jail after being detained in April 2018 outside the woman's home. Deketrice was ultimately found guilty of stalking and given a 4-year prison term in October 2018. She was found guilty of other offenses like domestic abuse, tampering with a motor vehicle, and first-degree burglary, according to criminal records. After being granted parole, Deketrice was set free in November 2021. She discussed how joining a Bible study group and converting to religion in the past helped her on the program. Deketrice complied with the conditions of her probation in the initial months following her release. She got a job, a car, abstained from drinking, and avoided being with women, claiming that being lesbian was a sin. She was charged with drunk driving around 6 months later, but according to the show, she was not jailed for the infraction. She eventually stopped going to the church group and started dating a woman again. Since then, Deketrice has kept a quiet profile, and, as far as we know, she is still on parole in Springfield, Missouri, where she appears to have managed to stay out of trouble. So, here is my take on this issue. In the video, Deketrice stated she does not regret anything, but wish things were different. Deketrice, you have been in prison for 2 years and said she did not regret anything. Now that's just plain ignorant or crazy. Deketrice did not learn anything if she is saying that. Then she said she did not consider this stalking. Well, what do you consider it, then, Deketrice? If any person tells you not to contact them, don't call me, don't text me, and if you contact them by phone or show up at their house, then this is considered stalking, period. Now I just want to say that I totally understand how Dee feels. I understand her point of view. And I understood everything she said. I don't understand how the state can put different children in different foster parents' homes. Pay them monthly payments for being a foster parent. And they all abuse and mistreat them, or at least the majority of them. I have heard so many horror stories of children being abused, raped, or starved to death. All kinds of horror stories. This is unacceptable. However, given Dee's absence or lack of a parent, you'd think she would know how to treat these women. Instead of her trying to force someone to love her, she should have been more gentle, kind, and understanding. She should have given them the things she did not get from her mother and father, instead of trying to force it on someone. Because that never works. You can't force someone to love you. You can't force someone to do things they don't want to do. That stuff never works. And you would think that by the first time she had these encounters with the first female, she would have figured that out then. However, that does not mean that you repeat this cycle with different people. It's the same game she was playing, but with different females, and that doesn't make sense. Tanya was trying to be like a big sister, in my opinion, and not a mother. I guess that's why she didn't allow Dee to call her mother or mom or whatever. But she saw these signs in Dee from the beginning, so the signs were there whether she wanted to admit it or not. She saw it early by the way the girl was acting and doing the repetitive things she wanted her to do, like that's crazy. Okay, so to get to the meat and potatoes of this issue with Dee. She stated she was sexually abused as a child. And I kind of figured she was molested at a young age. This was the root of what started it all, on top of her mother abandoning her as a child. However, I do not condone her behavior at all under any circumstances. This is not okay. She was on the right track, but she still needs some mental help. Or she will continue repeating this cycle. It all started in her mind. She needs counseling, and she needs to have a mental health evaluation. But many people's issues are that they don't know they have mental health problems, and some have them and ignore them. I saw this story over a month ago and decided this would be good to discuss here on YouTube and share on TikTok as well. For anyone who wants to see the remaining parts of this show, you will have to go to Netflix to do so. As we have to the end of this video. Stay tuned for more content on crimes all around this globe. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and sub to Crimes and Candyland.